Okay, hello guys. Today I'm going to show you how to solve different types of questions that you may encounter in the quantitative section of the GRE exam. Okay, so this lecture will have a different nature from the lectures that I have delivered previously. I'm not going to focus on explaining a specific mathematical concept in this lecture. However, this lecture will be dedicated to providing you with several types of examples, and I will show you how to solve or I will show you different strategies that you can follow in order to solve different types of questions about different mathematical concepts. Okay? All right. So let's start with this example. Okay, so suppose that you have two fractions here. Okay, so question one, suppose that you are given two mathematical fractions, 2x plus 5, okay, multiplied by 3x minus 1. All right. Okay, suppose that you are given two mathematical fractions and you are asked to evaluate the result of the multiplication of these two fractions, of these two mathematical expressions. How can you do this? Okay, now the strategy that you can use in order to carry out this multiplication process is the following. So you need to first, okay, you need to write down each mathematical expression like this. So the first one is 2x plus 5 like this, okay, and the second one is 3x minus 1. So we need to multiply these two mathematical expressions with each other. The first thing you need to do is that we have to, okay, we have to multiply the first term from each mathematical expression with each other. So we need to multiply 2x, okay, I'm going to use a different color here, okay, I'm going to multiply 2x multiplied by 3x. So 2x multiplied by 3x will give us 6x squared, okay, 6x squared. And then, okay, so the first thing you have to do, you need to multiply 3x by 2x, which will give you 6x squared. And then you need to multiply 3x by the second one. So this is the first step. So you need to multiply 3x by 2x. And the second step, you need to multiply 3x by the second term of the first expression. Okay, so this will give us 3x multiplied by 5 will give us plus 15x. Alright, plus 15x. After that, you need to multiply, okay, so after we finish multiplying 3x by all the terms, of the first mathematical expression, you need to move on to carry out the same operation using the second term now. So now we need to multiply 1 by each term of the first mathematical expression. So let's start by multiplying 1 by or minus 1 by 2x. So this will give you minus 2x minus 2x like this, okay, and then we need to multiply minus 1 by plus 5, which will give you minus 5. Okay, now the important thing that you need to note, that you need to remember, is that when you carry out multiplications, you need to write down the similar terms under each other. So as you can see here, the x terms, the coefficients, okay, the coefficients of the x terms are written under each other like this. Okay, now we need to, okay, we need to carry out the summation of this expression with this expression. All right, so as you can see, 6x squared is there, Okay, is there any x squared term in this expression? No. So the first thing, okay, we need to write down is 6x squared like this. Okay, and then you need to sum these two terms together. So 15x minus 2x will give you plus 13x, and then we don't have here x0, so this is minus 5. So this is the answer of this equation. Okay, 6x squared plus 13x minus 5, which is the product, of these two mathematical terms. Okay, let's move on to the second question now. Okay. Okay, so the second question is, okay, question 2. Suppose that you are given a function g of y. So this is called a function g of y is equal to y divided by the absolute value of y. Okay, and you are asked to evaluate the value, or to calculate the value of this function at different values of y. So suppose that we would like to calculate the value of this function when y is equal to 2, so g of 2, for example. How can we do that? In this case, if you are asked to calculate the value of g of 2, all what you need to do is to substitute every single y in the expression of the function by the value of 2. Okay, so this is how you can do it. So this is equal to what? This is equal to 2 divided by the absolute value of 2, right? So this is equal to 2 divided by what is the absolute value of 2, which is 2, and this is equal to 1. All right? Okay, suppose that you are asked to give the value, or to calculate the value of g of minus 2. So as we said, we need to substitute every single y in the mathematical expression of the function by the value of minus 2. So this is equal to minus 2 divided by the absolute value of minus 2, which will give you what? Minus 2. What is the absolute value of a negative number? It will be the positive of that number. So this is equal to 2, and this is equal to minus 1. All right? Okay. All right. Let's move on to the third question. Okay, so you have question number 3. Okay, so question number 3. Suppose that you have two terms like this. So n raised to the power 5 multiplied by, okay, multiplied by n raised to minus 3. So how can you calculate the product of these two exponents? As we said earlier, okay, as we said when we have actually already explained the concept of exponents in one of my previous lectures, and we said that if you have two exponents multiplied by each other, and the two exponents have the same base number, then all what you need to do to carry out this operation is that the product of these two exponents is going to have an exponent having the same base, and the summation of, okay, raised to the summation, or to the sum of the corresponding exponents. So you have 5 minus 3, and this is equal to n squared. All right. So if you have two exponents multiplied by each other, and the two exponents have the same base, then the result will be an exponent having the same base, and this base is going to be raised to a power which is equal to the summation of the powers of the two corresponding exponents. This is an important rule. All right. Okay. Um, Suppose that you have these two exponents. So suppose that you have s raised to the power 7 multiplied by r raised to the power 7. Okay, so in this case actually you have two exponents multiplied by each other. The two exponents do not have the same base, but the two exponents are raised to the same power. So what will be the rule in this case? In this case, the product of these two exponents is going to have an exponent whose base is the product of the bases, the basis of the corresponding products. So you need to have s multiplied by r, okay, and this base will be raised to the same power, which is 7. Okay, so keep in mind this important rule as well. All right. Okay, let's move to the second to the question number 4. Okay. All right. Now, in this case, the question asks us to solve one equation of x. Okay. So suppose that you are given this equation which is 5x minus 7 is equal to 28. Okay, so this is a very simple question which asks us to evaluate the value of x. Now this is called an equation, okay, because an equation has two sides. This is the left hand side of the equation and this is the right hand side of the equation, and there is an equal sign between the two sides. So in this case, this is called an equation. So when you are given a question like this asking you to find the value of x, this means that you need to find the value of x which is going to make this equation true. Okay, this is what it means by solving the equation. So in this case, you need to do is you have to allow only the variable x to be on one side of the equation, and you need to move all other terms of the equation to the other side. So the first thing you need to do is that you need to add up plus 7 to each side of the equation. So 5x minus 7 plus 7 is equal to 28 plus 7. This will give you what? So this will give you 35. Okay, 28 plus 7 is 35. And this will give you 5x minus 7 plus 7 is 0. So this is equal to 35. So in this case, I have, okay, so in this case, I got rid of the term minus 7 from the left hand side of the equation. All right. Now I need to get rid of the coefficient x which is multiplied by x. As I said, we need to allow only the variable x to be on one side of the equation. So in this case, in order to get rid of 5, you need to divide both sides of the equation by what? By 5. So in this case, this is equal to what? So this will give us x is equal to 7. All right. This is the value of x that will make this equation true, or that will satisfy this equation. All right. Okay. So let's give another question, another similar question which asks you to evaluate the value of x, okay, or to solve the equation. All right. Okay. So we need to move on to question 5 now. So question 5 gives us actually this equation. Suppose that you have this equation 5 multiplied by x plus 2 x plus 2, and this is equal to 1 minus 3x. Okay, suppose that you are given this equation and the question asks you to find the value or the values of x that will satisfy this equation. So what you need to do in this case, first of all, you have 5 which is multiplied by one term. So the first thing you need to do, okay, you need to multiply this coefficient by this term. So this will give you 5 multiplied by x is 5x. 5 multiplied by 2 is going to give you 10, so plus 10. This is equal to the right hand side of the equation, which is the same as 1 minus 3x. The second step you need to do is that you have to make sure all the terms that involve the variable x to be on one side of the equation, and all other terms that do not have the variable x to be on the other side of the equation. So you have here 5x and you have here minus 3x, which are located on different sides of the equation. So you need to move minus 3x to the left hand side by changing the sign. So this is equal to 5x, okay, plus 3x, okay, plus 10. This will give us what? 1 minus 3x plus 3x. So what we have done here is that I have added both sides of the equation by plus 3x in order to move minus 3x to the left hand side of the equation. So this will give you, okay, this will give you 8x here. So 8x plus 10 is equal to 1, only 1, because minus 3x plus 3x is equal to 0. And then you need to make sure that only the terms that involve x to be on one side of the equation. So this is 8x, okay, and in order to get rid of 10, you have to add minus 10 to both sides of the equation. So this is equal to 1 minus 10, which will give you what? Minus 9. So x is going to have the value of minus 9 divided by 8. This is the value of x that satisfies this equation, or that will make this equation true. Alright, okay. Okay, now question number 6. Suppose that you are given these two equations. Okay. Okay, suppose that the equation which you are asked to solve is given you in this form, okay, which is x plus 6 multiplied by 2x minus 1 and this is equal to 0. Okay, suppose that you are given this equation which involves the multiplication of two mathematical terms on one side, and on the other side of the equation this is equal to 0. If you are given a question like this, then the only way, okay, the only way by which this equation is satisfied is that, okay, is this condition. So the only condition in which this equation is satisfied is that either the value of x plus 6 is 0, okay, is equal to 0, or the value of the other term is equal to 0, right? Okay, so if this term here is equal to 0, this will make the value of this product be equal to 0. Or if this term is equal to 0, this will make the product of these two terms to be equal to 0. Okay, so we either have these two solutions, and then from these two solutions you need to multiply it or to find the value of x. So in this case here x is equal to minus 6, or in this case x here is equal to 1/2, right? So in this case actually we have two different values for x, each of which will satisfy this equation. Okay, so it is not true that at all times there is only one single value for x that will satisfy any equation. No, you might face equations for which there are more than one value for x in order for the equation to be satisfied. Alright, this is an important note that you need to keep in mind as well.